The Cuban refugee program was unique in American immigration history. There has never been a program as generous as the one that was created to help the Cubans retool for life in the U.S. It wasn't just the amount of money that was invested in the community. It was just the programs, how far-reaching there were. There were, the federal government helped create programs at the University of Miami, for example, to help Cuban doctors and lawyers and engineers learn English and pass the certification exams that would allow them to practice their professions in the United States, because they noticed that many of the Cubans who were arriving during the 1960s were the highly skilled of their societies. They were professionals. They had skills that were important to the U.S. economy, but they couldn't practice those professions in the U.S. because they didn't speak English, or they needed to pass the certification exams that would allow them to practice those professions. And so the Cuban refugee program worked with local colleges in South Florida so that the Cuban doctors and dentists and lawyers could take these courses and retool for life in the United States. But the Cuban refugee program also helped individuals establish new careers. So for example, the federal government noticed that there were many women who were arriving without their spouses in the United States because their spouses were imprisoned in Cuba. And these women had never worked in the labor force before. And so the Cuban refugee program helped train these women to work as secretaries, to work as teachers or teacher aides in the Dade County public school system. The Cuban refugee program also distributed monthly relief checks to help pay the rent, and surplus food like cheese and meat, so that families wouldn't go hungry until they became financially established in the United States. That's atypical. We have never seen a program like the Cuban refugee program since in American society.